Hello out there, Richard Hunley and David McKeever with Advance One McKeever Real Estate and another Ask the Brokers show. Today wanted to talk about the little things. You know, it's funny, the little things can actually be the big things when they're not done and then they become an issue. So let's talk about, David, a few of the little things that you do as an agent during escrow and even a little bit before escrow to keep things from getting out of control. First one I have right off the bat is when the buyer or sometimes the agent has brought the receipt into escrow, I'm sorry, not the receipt, the deposit into escrow, please get a receipt for that because I've actually seen where the deposit was lost, and then if you had the receipt, at least it's not on you anymore. David, have you ever seen anything like that?
I've never had that happen, but just for your sake of having it in your file, yeah, that makes sense to actually give the receipt to the buyer as well, so they have that on their records. Yeah,
that they have handed it in. Keep the buyers, especially first-time buyers, keep them motivated. First-time buyers, almost every one of them are going to get scared, have that nightmare that night, saying, wow, I can't afford $500 more on a payment than I'm paying in rent. If you don't keep them motivated with the little things like the tax breaks and this will be your house and the money that you can possibly make throughout the years, they might decide to back out when in reality they really wanted it, but they just had that strike of fear that made them walk away.
Yeah, it's woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know, the buyers remorse, right?
Big time.
Sometimes they get in escrow and they see another house that came on the market, and then they kind of chase that mentally. Oh, look at this one over here. Look at that one over here, and you know, it's trying to keep them focused on the process and getting through it and the benefits of the house they're in escrow with. You know, just keeping them motivated.
That's right, big time. David and I talk about this one constantly, and it comes up right here as a little one and a big one. The initial meeting with the buyer or a seller. It's so important. You see us do the trends, you see us do other videos. This initial meeting is important to let a buyer, for one, they come in and their aunt or uncle told them, yeah, I'll offer 20% less on a house. You know, in this market, that's not going to work. So what are we doing? Kind of wasting our time. Sellers, you're pretty much in control right now. You can be a little tighter and a little tougher on things because you're in control where there's 5 buyers looking for your house. But initial meeting, just to let them know which way the market's going, is important to not have them straying off and having different thoughts.
Yeah, the initial meeting's critical because, like you said, you're educating them on the market. You got to remember, people buy and sell real estate once every 10 years. You know, we're doing it. We're looking at the market every day. We're showing homes every day, every week. You know, it's just ingrained in our job. You know, and here they come in, you know, once every 10 years, and they, you know, you got to educate them on the process of buying a home, educate the process of selling a home, educate on what's going on in the market conditions. So yeah, it's a little thing, but it's a big thing because you can avoid a lot of headaches later on. So
right.
What do you got next?
One that's going on right now, real big time, is when negotiating. Remember, there's 4 sides to this. There's 2 realtors and there's a buyer and a seller. I know that sounds funny because the buyer's realtor and the buyer are on the same side, and the seller's realtor and the seller are on the same side, but not really. When negotiating, it could go even 4 ways. So keep that in mind when you've got this gap in negotiating to try to close it. You've got 4 sides to help close it, not just yourself.
That's a good point.
A lot of pressure is relieved when you look at it that way.
Yeah.
Another one, we talk about all these really, but when it's time to issue the notice to perform or it's time to issue the demand to close, do it. It says in the contract that you're supposed to do it. Do it. You're not going to hurt the other agent's feelings or the other client's feelings by issuing it. Doesn't mean you're issuing it to cancel them. It doesn't mean you're issuing it because you don't believe in what they're doing. It just means you're issuing it because the contract told you to, and you're protecting your client.
Yeah.
So don't skip this. It comes back and gets you a lot. I've been seeing it over the past couple of months. It just keeps coming back and burning new bridges.
Yeah, I think the moral of that story is, you know, you got to be up to date. You got to know your timelines, which means you got to be organized in your transaction to know where everything's at. You know, what was the day the contract was ratified, and what are the days of the loan appraisal and inspection contingencies and the close of escrow date. So if you're not detail oriented, you better hire yourself a TC to get detail oriented. Somebody can track those dates for you. It sounds easy when you have one transaction going, but some of these agents, the mega agents that have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 pending at a time, you know, that gets a little harder to track. So
that's right.
One date's a small thing. Multiplied over 10 is a lot of dates. So
10 and then 5 or 6 different things going on.
Yep.
So at least know day one, then everything else can go well from there.
All right. Last one, but a good one, is to stay in touch with your clients, lenders, title officers, escrow officers during the course of escrow.
Yes. Big one. And
sounds easy.
And one that David pushes all the time, which I totally agree with. Not only staying in touch with them, but how to stay in touch with them. We have many ways of communicating right now. We have text, we have, you know, phone calls, we have emails, you know, we have smoke signals, we have just all kind of things. But ask them which way they want to be contacted so that they're looking at that one. You could contact me maybe email, and all I do is look at my text and I'll see the email 3 days from now. That could be not good. So stay in touch, stay in touch, stay in touch. You know, that's our, as realtors, number one weakness out there. So let's turn it into a strength.
Yeah, definitely.
That's kind of a little review of a few small things to do to keep things moving forward. And, you know, I think we've covered some, but there's a lot more than that too.
That's right. Well, I think anybody that's been in real estate that has some longevity in the business do all these things really well. So if you're looking to up your game and improve, you know, emulate a successful agent, see how they structure their business, their day, their schedule, and if you emulate somebody that's doing it well, then you'll find success as well, I think.
Heck yeah. So that kind of ends today's Ask the Broker show. Remember, do the small things. Sometimes they're not that small.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next Friday.